What's up, everyone? Welcome to another live Art of War stream. Happy Wednesday.
Gurgling sickness noises.
Yep, well, exactly like that. I hope everyone in the chat is healthy right now because you're going to be feeling pretty sick to your stomach soon. Death Guard
For sure.
are back. Death Guard are back, and Nurgle Matt is in the chat.
Oh?
Nurgle Matt.
Nurgle Matt, what's your take?
I do want to hear it. So, What we're going over today is the 10th edition preview that Games Workshop just dropped for Death Guard. If you want to see more of our preview content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get notified every time we go live. So, really excited for all the new rules that GW is putting out. And let's talk about some Death Guard, shall we?
Let's dive into some DG.
Death Guard are back. Will they escape the bottom of the tier list? I've already been asked that like 4 times.
Are they stuck firmly in Death Guard tier?
No.
Who can say?
Who could say? All right, so let's get through it. So they start with a little fluffy bit telling us what Death Guard do. We all know that by now. And I don't think there's any rules in here, so let's get down to the actual rules.
Rules! Nurgle's Gift. It is very close to the same as before.
Yep.
Except the ranges are a little better. So instead of turn 1, it's 1 inch, then 3 inch, then 6 inch, then 9, if I got my memory correct. It is now 3, then 6, then 9. That is very good. It means you get it functionally online much quicker.
Yeah, a full battle round earlier than it is currently to get max range, and then each battle round before then is still a little bit better. So I'm glad that they increased the range of this a little bit, because it did feel like it was a rule that didn't have enough impact early game. But I mean, turn 1 it rarely comes up, but like by turn 2 this is actually pretty good aura.
Yes, it is.
Turn 2 you can start getting people in this range.
And -1 toughness is good. It's a very good effect, especially on things that are strength 4, 5, 6 in that range.
Yep. Sure.
Because then it dinks someone down below a threshold and you suddenly wound them on 3s or 2s when you wouldn't otherwise. So that is quite nice. As an army rule, it's pretty good. Yep. I think it's quite good.
And it's worth pointing out that it does keep the same thing as last edition, where it's -1 toughness if you're in contagion range.
Yeah, so there can be other things that trigger off contagion range.
Yeah, in the current book, that's definitely a theme of Death Guard. We'll kind of have to see if any of the enhancements might key off of contagion range, or if there are going to be other rules. Maybe some of the 75 elite characters will tell you, like, oh, if you're in contagion range, do X, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think the army rule is quite good.
Army rule is quite good.
The detachment rule.
There is a detachment rule.
Yeah, that less...
It's a little less exciting, I ain't gonna lie to you. But let's go through it. So we've got the detachment rule if you take the Death Guard Play Company, which we're assuming is the only detachment that Death Guard get, because that's kind of what they've been saying for all these armies. And this is Spread the Sickness, no longer a secondary. If you control an objective at the end of your command phase with a Death Guard unit, then that objective is infected and under your control until your opponent takes it back. So not only is it sticky objectives, it's sticky objectives and infected. And while an objective marker is infected and under your control, it has the Nurgle's Gift ability, as if it were a unit from your army. So suddenly you'll get the objective marker is an aura of -1 toughness as well, which could maybe help you project it a little bit or get it in range of to shoot people. Obviously, if you're in range to hit people in combat, they're already kind of in range. This could affect shooting.
It can. I mean, realistically, I don't think the infected part of it is much past fluff.
Yep.
It's mostly the sticky objectives. You get sticky objectives.
Sticky objectives is very nice, so that if you get onto an objective and your opponent's able to shoot you off of it, if they don't actually come over, it's still yours.
Yeah. That
part's nice.
So, yeah, the only time the sticky objective being an aura of Nurgle's Rot will come up is if you're hitting someone who didn't go onto the objective, but is near the objective, but you're not on the objective.
Well, I'm imagining that each objective being a 9-inch aura means that on turn 3 on, if you're within 6 inches of any objective disc, which is just going to happen accidentally at various points, you're -1 toughness for shooting.
Yeah, but you're going to be in range of units there, because you probably have units on that objective.
But then those units don't necessarily have to come out. I'm picturing, unit is sitting behind an objective, on an objective behind a wall, not really interested in coming out.
I guess maybe it gives you a couple extra.
I don't think
this
is heavily impactful, to be clear. I'm not trying to tell you this is like super clutch.
Yeah, my main point is that I think the important part of this is that you get sticky objectives.
Agreed.
Now, as a detachment rule, fairly mediocre.
Yeah, that's not. It's not one of the more impressive ones we've seen, unfortunately. But there's a lot left in these.
Yes. So let's go through it.
We'll see. So we've got some unit spotlights. First up is the absolutely iconic bacon, lettuce, and tomato Terminators, the BLTs.
Ah, yes, the Blight Lords.
Blight Lord Terminators. I was slipped the name. So Blight Lord Terminators are definitely looking like they've got some lesser rules than before, but they're basically just tougher Terminators. They've got a 4-up invuln toughness 6, 4-inch move, and I believe the traditional Terminator also had a 4-up invuln. I think.
Yes, all Terminators.
So all Terminators are 4-up invuln now.
Yeah, and the movement of 4, that's a downside.
That is a downside. So -1 move, +1 toughness.
So the answer, and also plus, oh no, it had a 4-up invuln before.
Yep. I'm just talking like compared to a regular Terminator. -1 move, +1 toughness.
Would you take -1 move, +1 toughness? Like,
honestly, like equal points, yeah.
Like you wouldn't, would you keep doing that? Would you go down to like movement 3 and take a toughness 7?
Movement 0.
Movement 0, toughness 10. Let's go.
Just making the advance rolls, buddy.
Yeah, you're just a confluence of Dominion or whatever the Necron thing is.
Oh, jeez. So, jokes aside here, they did change all the weapons. We'll kind of cover that in a second. The notable thing here is that Disgusting Resilient is not on the sheet. The only special rule they have is Deep Strike, Nurgle's Gift, which are core and faction rules, and then Blistering Fusillade, which is each time model in the unit makes range attacks if targets close to eligible enemy unit, reroll a wound roll of 1. So reroll 1s to wound against the closest target.
Yes. Sorry.
So it looks like so Blight Lords right now are just better Terminators that cost more, and sometimes that cost is worth it, sometimes it's not. But a Blight Lord right now, in 9th edition, like a Blight Lord Terminator is just better than a Terminator. They just you find out how the points go.
Well, they have a 2-up armor save, not a 1-up armor save.
Right, talking like a Boulder Power Fist.
Sure,
just a classic Terminator.
Sure.
Or a Chaos Terminator would be a good comparison. It looks like they've taken away some of what makes them unique, and they basically just have slightly tweaked stat line, less special rules, different weapons. If Blight Lord Terminators end up similar in points cost to a Chaos Terminator, they could be a perfectly fine unit, but lack of -1 damage, in my mind, it means they have to be the same cost as a regular Terminator.
Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting they don't just have -1 damage.
I see no reason for them to. There's nothing here to indicate.
No. That would have been a great detachment rule, to be honest. Yeah, I don't see it. I would assume it's not there.
Now what I'm honestly hoping for Death Guard players is that one of these 75 elite characters that the army has in a clan pack, that one of them, like maybe the Plague Surgeon, is like
Surgeon.
It's like a Feel No Pain aura or something.
That would be nice. A 5-up Feel No Pain aura
would
would be shame for them to get it after the -1 damage goes away.
Well, a lot of the times I've heard Death Guard players say, we just need to have a 5-up Feel No Pain on the whole army, and I'm like, I don't think that's appropriate. However, now it might be.
You can get a 6-up from the Plague Surgeon.
Yeah.
That's probably what they keep. That would be funny.
Maybe his unit gets a 5-up. If he joins the unit.
Oh, it's definitely going to be his unit. Maybe. I'm sorry, Death Guard players.
Yeah. So let's go through some of the weapons here. So the Blight Launcher has lethal hits. This seems to be a theme. Plague Weapon, as a rule, is gone. But a lot of these things have lethal hits. And we know from some past previews that lethal hits is a 6 to hit auto wounds.
Yes.
So Blight Launcher is just 2 attacks at strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. Since there is no more heavy penalty,
it's the same as it was before, except AP1 instead of AP2, and lethal hits instead of reroll 1s to wound. I would much rather have lethal hits than reroll 1s to wound.
Fully agreed. And then the general AP reduction, this just feels in line with that.
Yeah. And you already reroll wound rolls of 1.
It's true. Against the close target, you now get both.
So.
Combi weapons, exactly the same as far as I can tell as what we see in the Terminator library.
Yeah, combi weapons are super weird. They're not a bolter and a thing. Like, it looks like a combi weapon.
Yeah, it's just a
combi melta is the same as a combi plasma, is the same as a combi flamer, which is
bizarre.
Odd.
It is. I think they just want less, like...
What the hell?
I guess they just want it to matter less? Like, I don't know, man. I honestly don't get it.
I mean, if I see melta barrels on a unit, I'm like, I don't want to drive my tank over. They're like, don't worry, it's anti-infantry 4+.
Yeah, like, don't worry, sir. There's a bolt pistol strapped to my melta gun, so it now kills infantry only. Ah, sweet. Thanks. I'm a little confused by that as a general design choice, but...
I do like the melee weapons being homogenized so that you can build whatever you want. I like having more choice on a technical level, but what I hate is having to build out of a box the weapons I don't want to have to build.
Yeah.
And so I like that they've smushed them together.
Yeah, that's fair. So we do have the combi weapon. It's the same as the Terminator. So anti-infantry 4+, devastating wounds, rapid fire 1. Anti-infantry 4+ combined with devastating wounds means that a 4+ to wound is going to be immortal. Admittedly, that is really cool.
Yep, that's the same as all combi weapons.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just kind of rehashing it. This is the same as the other combi weapons we've seen. Now, a plague bolter. Interesting. Oh, sorry, plague combi bolter. Okay. 2 attacks, rapid fire 2, strength 4. Okay. So this is basically a storm bolter, but it also has lethal hits.
Because it's a plague combi bolter.
And that is not inconsiderable. That's pretty nice.
Not, because a unit of 10 of these dudes puts out 40 shots. I assume, even though they've reduced the amount of rerolls in the game, there will be a full rerolls to hit aura.
Obviously, more Terrans can be something like that.
Clearly. And so, when you fire that whole unit, it'll start to kill things that you would not imagine.
Yep.
Like Swooping Hawks, when they came out, were a decent anti-tank option because they would just reroll all their hits.
I do hate that.
And get 6s to hit, and then you're like, yeah, it's AP 0. Anyway, take 24 saves, please.
I hate that so much. Alright. More guns. Plague Spewer. This is the flamer. This is actually pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that thing was great.
Anti-infantry 2+, ignores cover, torrent. So torrent is the rule that all the flame weapons have.
Auto hits.
Yeah, just auto hits. 12 inches, D6 attacks, strength not applicable. Or sorry, ballistic skill not applicable. Strength 5 AP1, so fine into not infantry. But wounding infantry on 2's AP1 ignore cover. That's just generically nice. That is good to have. That is a good weapon.
That is a good weapon.
I would like to see several of those.
I imagine you will see two per 10.
However many a unit can take, I imagine that's how many else.
Reaper autocannon also looks pretty decent.
Yeah, honestly, this is also pretty good.
So it's not heavy somehow.
It is weird. This is very different than a normal autocannon, which is fine, but interesting. So 36 inch range.
It's basically like the combination of an assault cannon and an autocannon.
It does kind of feel
it's
like
actually more like a long-range assault cannon.
Yeah. So 4 shots, ballistic skill 3, strength 7, AP1, damage 1, kind of okay. And then we've got devastating wounds, which is every 6 to wound is immortal. Then we've got sustained hits 1, which is every 6 to hit is an extra hit.
Yeah.
So suddenly we've got 6s are good in every avenue with Reaper autocannon. And
6s are additional hits. 6s do mortals instead of damage.
Yeah, stat line honestly looked mad. Then I scrolled over to the wounds. I was like, oh no, okay, that's actually a kind of useful weapon to have.
Yeah, I actually really like Reaper autocannons. You take 2 of these per 10, I'm assuming, because that's what comes in the box.
I honestly have not checked.
It's 1 per 5 in the box.
That sounds right.
I think.
Yeah, exactly. If you told me there were 2 in a box, I really would not have questioned you.
You definitely don't get 4 heavy weapons in a 10-man squad. I know that much.
That'd be too good.
Yeah, but just 8 shots going out, 6s to hit are additional hits, 6s to wound, do mortals, reroll wound rolls of 1. I'm assuming rerolls of something to hit. It's just a generically good amount of damage going downfield. Yeah, I actually like it.
I'm pretty happy with that overall. Yeah. Then they go into the melee weapons. The Bubotic Blade, so no more axe versus swords. But the Bubotic Blade also has lethal hits. This is the theme. 4 attacks hitting on 3, strength 5, AP2, damage 1. And the Flail of Corruption, this is actually pretty good. Also lethal hits. 6 attacks hitting on 3, strength 5, AP1, damage 2.
Doesn't spill damage?
Doesn't spill damage, but just 6 damage to attacks. I'm honestly still just totally okay with it.
I assume you're just going to take 2 of those, no questions asked.
Yeah, that looks
They
good.
don't get a shooting weapon, so there is the conversation of, if you lose your shooting weapon, is it better to get 2 slightly better / worse attacks?
Interesting.
Possibly not. Bubotic Blade is just a better accursed weapon.
Yeah.
It is the same profile, except has lethal hits instead of not having lethal hits.
That's good.
Yeah.
The abundance of lethal hits here, I think, will help Death Guard out a lot. Yeah. Because lethal hits, from what we know of 9th edition, lethal hits is a good rule.
Blight Lord Terminators should be scary up close. If they are not scary up close, someone has made a mistake. A big one.
Fully agreed. Let's go into the second data sheet here. So, Here we go. The Malignant Plaguecaster. Still a 4 wound guy with a movement 5. That's good. And a 3-up save. OC 1. What's the OC of a Terminator? Yeah, okay, still 1.
Oh no, I'm assuming Plague Marines are better.
I'm certainly right.
Yeah, maybe they give you something when they stand on an objective. They make the objectiver.
Stickier.
Even stickier. You don't want to touch that objective. That objective's gross.
I don't know. Okay, so now we've got the gun on the Malignant Plaguecaster. This is pretty fine. D6 shot, strength 4, AP 1, damage D3. Range 12 is a bit of a letdown, or it can go hazardous. But this is Psychic Torrent, so it doesn't have to hit, which is nice.
Yes.
And then
Good
D6
range.
plus 3 hits. Strength 6, AP 2, damage D3. This I don't think they've literally told us what hazardous do. We just assume it's like ones do mortals. Like hit rolls. But then
it doesn't hit.
It doesn't hit.
I would assume that there is a chance at danger.
Yeah, chance of danger. Chance of spicy plasma. But D6 plus 3 hits at strength 6, AP 2, damage 3, D3. That is a generally scary
I
flamer.
like that gun. That gun is like, good gun.
That's actually a good gun. So that's kind of exciting.
And it has a special rule on the end of it, too.
And it does.
So, in your shooting phase, after it's shot, one or more attacks with them score a wound against enemy infantry, -2 to the move, and -2 advance and charge. Which is less good than you might think, because they are already within 12 inches of you.
Yeah, but maybe you're trying to stop them from getting away from you.
Not bad.
Imagine doing this against the other Death Guard, though.
Sure. Then it's just two people, like, slowly crawling towards each other. Just 2 Malignant Plaguecaster units just slamming each other with Pestilential Fallout every turn.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you move 2. No. You move 2 and are -2 to charge. No, you move 2 and you're -2 to charge.
Yeah. So really exciting stuff there. I feel like even though the range on this is limited, still think Pestilential Fallout's just a nice thing to have, just to stop people from getting away.
Yeah.
And then one other rule to mention here. This also, I think, is potentially very good. And that is Gift of Contagion. In your shooting phase, select an enemy unit within 18 invisible to the Psyker. Roll a d6. Oh, God help us. On a 1, take d3 mortal wounds. On a 2+, though...
I think that's going to be a common thing.
On a 2+, though, each time a model in that enemy unit makes a melee attack, subtract 1 from the wound roll. On a 2+, that is really good.
It's not bad. You will roll 1s all the time. Yeah. I'm prepared to be sad about it.
Combined higher toughness army with -1 to wound potentially in melee. That has the potential to be silly good.
Strength 5 need not apply.
Yeah, Strength 5 wounds Terminators on a 6-up if you just slap them with a Gift of Contagion. That's awesome. Every time you roll a 1, you're going to die inside.
And also on the outside, because you take
Oh, yeah, of course, also on the outside, my bad.
Yeah, they kind of alluded in the Eldar preview that most times you fail a power, it's not just going to suck. It's going to suck extra hard. It's not just, oh, your ability didn't work. It's also, and you take damage. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I will point out that the Pestilential Fallout is shooting in their shooting phase.
Yes. So you can't fire in any other phase and then still take the -2.
Exactly. So we've got a couple profiles here. So first up is the Plague Burst Mortar. This has had a weird upgrade side grade. So D6 plus 3 attacks compared to the current, I think, D6. Is it D3 plus 3 right now, or is it D6 right now?
It's D6.
Okay,
I believe. I remember being mad when Noah Neuendorfer goes 5.56 and then hits all of them.
Of course.
He's in the chat. I saw him. Can't get away.
I'd be mad too. D6 plus 3 shots and blast is really nice. Indirect fire we've already seen from the Exorcist preview. Lethal hits, same as above. This is the 6 to hit auto wounds. Strength 8, AP 1, damage 2. So the strength didn't go up in a world where it looks like toughness is increasing. So it seems that they want the Plague Burst to be a little more anti-infantry than anti-tank.
Yes, but it does have lethal hits, which means that in a pinch you can try to pick off some wounds.
In a pinch, it's still not bad into vehicles. AP 1, but we saw indirect fire gives cover, so that'll just kind of cancel out. And then damage 2, solid. I think it's D3 at the moment, so I'll take 2 as a nice consistency upgrade. Here's where it gets good. We do have a special rule for it.
I think it is 2.
Is it 2 right now?
And then the strat takes it to 3.
Oh, that sounds right now that you say that out loud.
Yeah.
I may be thinking of old Plague Burst crawlers that were damage D3, but it's actually 3.
ugh.
Yeah.
I remember having vehicles smoked out of line of sight by Plague Burst Crawlers. I'm just like, this is statistically almost impossible. How is this happening? Well, now it'll have extra shots, I guess.
Yep. And then we've got Spore Lay Shockwaves. So after this model has shot, if one or more of those attacks made with its Plague Burst Mortar scored a hit against an enemy infantry unit, that infantry unit must take a Battle Shock test. So, okay. Generically, that's good. Shoot a Plague Burst Mortar, cause a Battle Shock test. Because with D6 plus 3 attacks, it is very unlikely you don't score a hit.
Yes.
Not impossible. It'll be funny when it happens. But very likely you get a hit in there.
Yeah, I really like the Plague Burst Mortar, honestly. D6 plus 3 plus Blast means against a 5-man's D6 plus 4. That's a lot of shots. And indirect fire is not as bad as it is currently. Mm-hmm. It's a lot less negative when you're shooting out a line of sight.
Yep.
Because currently, they revealed indirect fire. Currently, it is -1 ballistic skill, which is almost impossible to get around.
Yeah.
And +1 to their opponent's armor save, and they can get cover on top of that.
But now it's not that.
Yes. Now it's just -1 to hit. So it used to be -1 ballistic skill, which could then be -1 to hit, for -2 to hit. Yep. Ugh. I mean, yay, because I'm always the one getting shot by it. But
yay.
And then +1 to their saves, which could then stack with cover for +2. Mm-hmm. Here, indirect fire is just they get cover, and you are -1 to hit. So now it hits on 4s, but it will never go worse than that. Mm-hmm. Which is, this thing's scary, man.
Yeah, it's going to be scarier for infantry, and a lot more shots, I think. And then a battle shock test is just going to be really annoying.
Yeah, and if it direct fires, it's actually really, really damn scary. Mm-hmm. D6 plus 5 against 10-man units? No, thank you very much, please.
Indeed. All right, so they do give us a stratagem to play with here. So Sanguis Flux is stratagem here just for their detachment. And I'm just reading this to make sure there's no rules there that I'm missing. Nope. All right, so Sanguis Flux. This is a fight phase stratagem. Target any Death Guard unit. All weapons equipped by models in your unit have the sustained hits 1 ability. So you get every 6 to hit is an extra hit. That's pretty dang good. And then while your unit is within the range of an infected objective marker control, so this is one that you controlled in your command phase, then these weapons have sustained hits 2 instead.
Yeah, Tesla in combat is very scary, especially when they reveal whatever full reroll to hit aura they have.
Can't wait. No rerolls though. So sustained hits 1. That's just a good 1 CP strat to have. When you I feel like this is good if you're not by an objective. Sustained hits 1 is just generically yep, this is nice. Here's extra hits. But when you accidentally get near an objective and then the second part of this, the sustained hits 2, becomes unlocked, that is terrifying. That
is very scary. That is the important part of an infected objective, is that you can use this.
Yeah, and I'm betting there's more rules like that.
Tesla plus, I assume, rerolls. If they're not in there, then they're not in there. But Tesla generically very good. But Tesla plus rerolls is horrific in combat. that will just do brutal things.
I am okay with Death Guard being brutal in melee. If there's one theme of Death Guard, it's that messing with them is a mistake. Getting close to Death Guard, inadvisable.
Yeah, you can be over there. But if you're over here, you're getting Death Guard.
I'm okay with that part of Death Guard's theme being preserved.
Yeah, no, that works.
Hopefully they just have more ways to survive the closing the gap part.
No, they don't have -1 damage as far as I can
tell. Well, there could be more. And then we're just getting into the word from the studio. I read this once and I didn't see any rules in here. They, of course, reference opponent's toughness getting reduced. Yeah. Some of the toughest units in the game, lethal hits being very common.
They lack speed, which,
Which they seem to be okay with.
Yep.
All right. And then they do, of course, give us some books to read if you enjoy yourself some Death Guard. Weirdly enough, there's a Gulliman on the cover of all 3 of these, so I wonder whose perspective that's from.
Mortarion, maybe? I don't know.
Let's be Mortarion.
I see Morty over there.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And that concludes the article. They do give us a bit of a hint that tomorrow morning, Imperial Knights.
Ooh woo?
Look, I'm excited about Knights.
Yeah, me too, bud.
Mm-hmm. That is really, really cool. Someone's asking in the chat, with sustaining, would they auto wound as well?
So does sustained hits and lethal hits stack? So if I roll a 6 to hit, it becomes 2 hits. Do both of those wound? Currently, no. I would assume not.
They very consciously made that not the case in 8th and 9th.
Well, they did it in 8th.
After releasing it the other way, they very quickly realized, oh god, no.
Yeah, the combos were as stupid as they were ridiculous.
So
the combos in 8th were something like a unit of incursors or something could like solo anything in the game because you just stacked a bunch of procs on 6s with full rerolls and you're just like...
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So that seems... So I would guess not, because GW knows that that's a very bad idea. Yes. And I hope that they have learned their lesson and don't repeat that mistake.
Yep.
All right. So that wraps us up for the article. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and watching us talk about the Death Guard. If you're excited for 10th edition, let us know in the comment section below. Please like this video and, of course, subscribe. We'll be going live tomorrow with another preview. As a matter of fact, we'll be going live every day with a preview as long as GW is putting out more articles. So subscribe to the channel to get notified as soon as we do so. And, as always, thank you so much for your support. If you want to get even more awesome Art of War content, make sure you go to the description below this video where you can find a link to the Worm. It'll get you to an awesome community in our Discord, as well as advanced content for all levels of play. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.